Welcome to the Windows Computer and Technology channel. And so I was reading all of the comments that were posted for this, new direction that we think Microsoft is going to, with a Windows 12 possibility within the next couple of years, and Windows 11 that, for the most part, I think a lot of people that have Windows 11 like it, but it does feel unfinished, and there needs to be consistency in having it work. One of the comments I see often, and I see it almost every week, of people complaining about how Microsoft just wants to make money. Well, that's a company that is owned by shareholders, and the basic principle is we provide a product and services, but we try to make as much money as possible. And that's the same for Apple, the same for any companies like that. Apple doesn't sell you a Mac just to please you. It sells you a Mac or an iPhone because it wants to make as much money as possible. These companies are like that. So we got, that when people say, well, they're just thinking about themselves. Yes, they are. And that's a way that a lot of companies work. Now, definitely there's an improvement to be had in the way that they handle the situation and talk to the consumers. The biggest problem that I think we're having with Windows is that there's the consumer market and there's the business market. The business market doesn't follow the consumer market in the same way. So the majority of Windows users are simply companies and businesses. That makes the biggest chunk of Windows users. These people want to have something that works. They don't care about features. They don't want new features. And they don't want to have, to reinstall or to, deploy a new version of Windows all the time. It's time consuming, it's complex, and of course the risk of having problems is always there. Now, the consumer market behaves in a different way. And actually, where is Windows 11? It's in the consumer market. It's not in the business market. I don't think there's a lot of businesses that have started getting Windows 11 deployed. It's really, the numbers are really on the consumer side. So that said, unless business starts getting Windows 11, that number that we have right now where Windows 11 is somewhere around 10 to 15%, I can't see it increase much because the consumers are just a smaller chunk of Windows. It's still, millions and millions of people, but it's different market. It has a different view. It has a different way of using Windows. But overall, yes, indeed, I think one of the things that we talk a lot about is how we need to all, we all agree on one thing is maybe Microsoft should sit down and just make sure that what we have right now just is, like we want, and listen to us a lot more. They're not listening. It's obvious Microsoft isn't listening at all. They're trying to tell us, they're trying to kind of brainwash us into thinking they're listening, and they're gonna, have these statements all the time of, well, thanks to you, now we have this. Thanks to you, we have this. But look at what's being sent to us in features and the way that things work, and even the taskbar not being able to move it, and the complaints of all sorts of things, missing stuff, and settings that might not be right or whatever. It's obvious they're not listening at all. It's obvious, and the stuff that they throw at us is something that nobody asked for. They are asking for it. We're not. So it's very, very complex the way that it is right now with Microsoft and Windows. It definitely seems like there's just two worlds out there. The business, the consumers, what we want. Businesses want stability, nothing new. For a lot of consumers, we just want it to work. And, there's not a lot of people that care about new stuff. Enthusiasts do. Once again, we are different. We are the ones that kind of embrace the new stuff and like to see it. But that's a small subset of, once again, the consumer market. Most of the consumer market is, I don't want to have new stuff. I don't care. I want this PC to work. And Microsoft obviously does not listen at all to what we have to say. So and because of its dominant position with Windows, it pushes stuff, and we just get it shoved our throat, and we just have to accept that that's the way it goes, which is sad, honestly. And we see a lot about people. I see a lot of comments of people saying, well, Linux is going to win now because they're not listening. And it's not. It's never going to win the way it is now. Linux cannot win in the way that it is. Stop thinking that. You don't realize how complex it is to go to Linux for most people. It's not even easy to, first of all, people don't install operating systems. That is one thing that you have to understand. People do not go and install Windows. They buy a PC with Windows on it. So they're really not going to install a Linux. If you're installing Linux, you're a different kind. You're an enthusiast. You're a different person. You're not what the majority is. And once you're in Linux, no, it's not true that it's easy. Oh yeah, there's this start, kind of like a start menu, and like, yes, the feel, the look, some of the distros are, look and feel like it. Once you want to really do stuff, oh yeah, well, you can take the shell and this, with the command line, also the terminal, and you're going to do that. People are going to do that? No, they don't even do it in Windows. So stop thinking Linux is going to take over. Linux is not taking over as long as Linux is the way it is. And Windows is going to always be there dominating. And, of course, there's variations of Linux. When I talk about this, people, well, Android is like, I don't care. It's not Linux. And the reason it's not Linux, it's because it's not made in the way that you have a Linux distro. It's a different thing, and it's for different devices. That I don't care about. We're strictly talking here with PCs and computers. So, we're in a world where Microsoft, I think, needs to listen more. I don't know what we can do about it. Even if you leave feedback on messages and so on, it doesn't seem like it really matters much. If you enjoy my videos, please subscribe, give us thumbs up. Thank you for watching.